This is Math, y'all. Here we are again with another video. We're working on our Unit 2 practice test. We're going to jump in with the graphing here. We're going to start graphing numbers 10 and 11. First thing we need to know is what in the world the shape is just by looking at it. If you don't know, you need to review these. This first one is a circle. So what you need to do for this first one is you need to know it's a circle. There are no numbers with your x and y, so it's a circle centered at 0, 0. You do the square root of 49, and that gives you 7. That is your radius. So we're going to have a circle with a radius of 7, and this is going to be a solid circle. We look at the symbol. We look at that symbol, and this is a solid circle with a radius of 7. So we're going to draw that. I think I have 7 on this. So 7 this way. Ooh, short of a 7 right there. 7, 7. So I have a solid circle of radius 7. Remember, on the MyLab, you have to actually click the circle tool. There'll be a tool. It'll have a dot here and a dot here, and you click on that. And now it says greater than. Greater than, the rule for greater than, how do you know it's greater than? Well, if I put ESS into it, it does not read less, so therefore it must be greater than. So greater than, when it comes to circle, is outside the circle. This is only the rule for circle. So then I'm going to shade outside the circle. So I'll shade outside the circle. There we go. That's it. Solid and outside. Okay, the next one, we have to know what the shape it is. Again, it is a parabola. We have to know that. If we don't know the shape just from looking at it, we need to study that. And then we also need to know that it is a parabola. And when I graph parabolas, I need to plug in certain numbers. What numbers do I need to plug in? Well, we're going to plug in -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. That's how you do for all the parabolas. Now you only need 3 of them to graph them, but here we go. So if I plug in 2, I always start with the easy ones first. That'll be 4 minus 1, which is 3, so that's the 0.23. If I plug in 1, I get 1 squared minus 1, which is going to be 0. So that's the 0.10. And then if I plug in 0, I get 0 squared minus 1, which is, sorry, that's not supposed to be 0, -1. This does not look right. It's because 1, 0 is here. There we go. Sorry. And then if I plug in -1, -1 squared minus 1 is going to be 0. And then -2 squared minus 1 is also 3. Notice those match. They're supposed to match. There's my parabola. Now, I need to know, is it dotted or solid? Right here. This is less than, and it is dotted. So a dotted line, dotted shape, and less than means find you a point and shade directly below. Directly below. Dotted means less than means down. So I'm shading down. That's what it's going to look like. I'm shading below. Okay? All right, let's do another one. This one, another parabola. Absolutely, another parabola. Stop the video, try to do it by yourself, and start back. Here we go. That is greater than or equal. So this is going to be a solid because it has the equals. And greater than, we're going to shade up. Okay, we know what numbers to plug in. Did the same plug in we did before. We have 2 squared minus 6, that's 4 minus 6 is -2. 1 squared minus 6 is -5. 0 squared minus 6 is -6. -1 squared minus 6 is the same as 1 squared minus 6, so that's -5. And this is -2. Okay? When you do these on the MyLab, you must look for the parabola button. it'll look something like this. You have to click on that. Once you click on that, then you come click on your points. So your first was 0, -6, 1, -5, 2, -2, and there we have it. This one's a solid line. And we shade greater than. Okay, so now again, where is the greater than? Take a point and go vertical, and that tells you where to shade. This is where I shade, because if I take these points and go vertical, this point and go vertical, this is where I'm going to shade, right there. Okay, greater than is shade above. Number 13. Okay, this one, we have two sections, two lines to do. We're going to shade, and we need to know what we're doing. These are lines. You need to know they're lines. You need to be able to look at them and know these are both lines. Lines we want to be in the Y format, Y greater or Y less. And if it's Y greater, we shade above the line. If it's Y less, we shade below it. Both of these are in that format. Look at it. Both of them are in the format. So we don't have to do anything other than get some points. So now we want to plug in some numbers to get some points. I'm going to plug in 0 for x. That gives me -6. And then I'm going to plug another number. I like to plug in 2. So I'm going to plug in 2 for x. And that's going to give me -12. It's probably not a good one because in my graph it's not big enough. So let's plug in -2 for x. And that gives me 0. So that point's too big. On your MyLab it wouldn't be. You'd be able to use it. Okay, so 0, -6 is here. -2, 0 is here. And now, did we talk about whether it was dotted or solid? It is dotted. This one's dotted, and this one's also dotted. So I'm going to draw a dotted line. I'm going to do my best to get this straight as I can get it. It's not very straight. All right, but there's the first one, and my first one is a greater than, so I'm going to shade above it, but I'm actually just going to put little marks. So shade above it. I'm just going to put little marks. Shade above it. All right, I'm going to do the second line. Second line, I'm going to plug in numbers just like I did before. I plug in 0. Plug in 0, I get 7. If I plug in 2, I get 9. If I plug in -2, I get 5. So again, I'm going to use the ones that I have room for. 0, 7 is hard to do because, again, my graph paper is not quite big enough, but I'll do it. 0, 7 is way down here. And then -2, 5 is right here. This one's tricky, isn't it? I don't think that's right. I think I made an error somewhere. Next 0, -2. Let's balance it at 5. 0, 7. Did I make an error in the other one? It's not 0, -7. It's 0, +7. There we go. There's my error. I was graphing error. Okay, 0, +7 is there. Okay, so now this one's also dotted. Okay, so there's my lines. And this one is less than. So literally, I'm going to draw a little, take my little arrow and go down and down. And if you'll notice which area has both arrows. This one right here. This has orange and green arrows. So that's the section I'm going to shade. Okay. One more. This one we have a parabola and a line. We have a parabola and a line. How do you know that? I studied. I know what a parabola looks like. This is a parabola. It has an x squared and a y. This is a line because it has a plane x and a plane